All right. Hello, everybody. How's your day been? What's been going on? I know yesterday we had some rough earnings in this market, and a lot of things are rough in this market right now. And I mean, my sentiment is pretty much the same as it was yesterday. Things are rough. We got to understand that things are rough. It's ultimately not that rough if we understand market cycles. Like, this is truly inevitable. Now, if it was that inevitable and we all knew how inevitable it is, we would have waited to buy and not load up, months ago. But that's the nature of timing the market. You don't know when it's going to happen, when it's not going to happen. And if you think you do, 99% chance you're going to miss out on most of the big things that happen in the market. So, yeah, things are rough. But my point yesterday was, if you don't need to spend the money that's in your portfolio, then you don't need to look at it. And you need to stay true with your conviction if you do believe that you've invested in a stock that makes sense. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today, a lot of different stocks that had earnings yesterday that I think it's important to get into, and some of those stocks that are just incredibly, they got hit pretty bad. Range Rover, what's up in the chat? Lowered my Palantir shares to 2,000 yesterday. I think there might be better opportunities in the short term. Makes sense. Amit, where you at, homie? I am in New Jersey. For those who don't know, in the United States. Hello to everyone who's here. Let's talk a little bit about Upstart stock. So Upstart, a friend of the channel, Owen, he's a big Upstart guy. I never really understood them, never really got them, but he is super big into them. They had a little bit of a not the best earnings yesterday. So they're down 55%, as you can see. They're $34 in pre-market. They were $77 yesterday. So this is a stock that was at $400 at its peak, right? This is October 29th, 2020. It's kind of crazy. October 2021 is when the market was just peaking at such a different level. But it has to go up a lot to get back to $400 at this point. Hey, Amit, could have those been guided lower operating margins for Q2 connected with Accenture and Jacob's partnership? They must pour more in. That's a good point, Jacob. That I actually might use that on my video. That might be a good point, that there's going to be lower operating margins because of some of the partnerships. We'll talk about that. But Upstart, it has fallen pretty dramatically. Now, the reason Upstart fell is primarily because of the guidance they offered, but also they have like $700 million of loans that they've backed, but they only have $900 million of cash. So if the economy were to free for all, right, and have like a really big macro headwind, they would theoretically go bankrupt, which is pretty rough, right, for Upstart and for a stock like Upstart. So that's kind of the challenge we have here. Upstart stock. Now, for those who don't know what it is as you can see, there's the drop right there. It is a AI-based lending company. Okay, so they do lending for individuals, but they use like proprietary artificial intelligence to be able to figure out how to match you with the right loan. And that's ultimately how they get their job done. So that's what really happened. We'll talk more about it, but yeah, Upstart plummeted 55%. They cut their full year forecast. So they lowered their revenue estimate to $1.25 billion from $1.4 billion. And they have this huge amount of collateral, essentially, that if things were to go bad, then, things would crash really badly. So, we will see. As you can see, Piper Sandler, Analyst, they slashed the price target on stock to 44 from 230. So 75% downside to the stock. When analysts start doing that at scale, that's when your stock's going to end up dropping. Now, in the pre-market, we do have a lot of green. I know it looks red, but there is a decent amount of green. I don't think this is a crazy rally or anything that's going to happen. I think this is just like peak fear as well. It's really important to understand that when the market is this bad, you kind of have nowhere to go but up. Like, it's hard for things to just get that much lower and lower and lower when the market is this bad. So this is why you see Palantir, for example, it's up 3% in pre-market. It's kind of crazy though, right? Like, it's at 760 in pre-market, and 2 days ago it was at 11, and we would be like, man, why can't it get to 12? And now I'm pretty sure all of us are decently happy with Palantir being at $7.60 versus $7.20, right? It's the nature of how the market is. The SPY is back up 1.4%. So as you can see, it lowered yesterday at 398. And today it is at 404 in the pre-market. So Tesla as well is at 815. Yeah, 817. It's up 4% as well. So there is a rally that is happening. It's not a crazy rally or anything, but every stock is up about 3-4%, which is good because after a day like yesterday, the type of carnage we see, Coinbase, as you can see, Bitcoin as well is doing decently well today. After the type of carnage we see in certain stocks and the overall market yesterday, there usually tends to be a little bit of a V-shaped recovery, even if it's not going to last for a while. It's going to last for a little bit. Right, so Bitcoin's at 32,000. Yesterday, it hit right below 30,000. Right there, you can see 29,746. This was yesterday at around 2 p.m. Boom, 29,746. So if you bought right at that bottom, that's where the dip was bought. El Salvador bought around 500 Bitcoin. It was about 30 million bucks they paid. So if you're a believer in Bitcoin, then you buy this dip because it seems like it's absolutely peak fear. The new article came out that 40% of people that have bought Bitcoin are underwater, meaning they're losing on their investment, which means it might be a time to finally start getting into it if that many people are down below. But Bitcoin has been relatively stable now that it's up 7%. I mean, and again, it's like a growth stock. It'll have a rebound, but when it has a rebound, it's much more volatile because of the nature of the asset class. Which is just sort of how Bitcoin operates in general as it forms. Let's see what's in the chat. Do you own Palantir, and if so, how many shares and what average price? So I own Palantir. I have a $19 average price, $19.66, and I have about 2,100 shares. Roku is up 3%. Now we got to talk about ARK. Let's talk about ARK before the market opens. Let's see if I can time it as well, because for those who are new here, there's a little delay, unfortunately. Just how it is. ARK bought 150,000 shares of GM, General Motors. And I'll show you guys this here. There's this Twitter account called ARK Invest Daily. And they basically track all the trades. So right here is where we get it. They sold a little bit of Tesla, about 25,000 shares and 15,000 shares. And then in ARKQ, now, Tesla's still about 9% of the fund, so Tesla's still a huge holding. But in RQ, they buy 158,000 shares of GM. Now, what is the reason they're buying GM? I'm not fully sure. I think they would be saying, I think the logic is that it's assuming it's going to be, some important electric car company in the future, and Tesla obviously has grown into that already. Tesla has room to grow, but nonetheless, General Motors might have room to grow as well. But it's interesting. They are initiating that position into GM, which means we're going to ultimately have to see what happens. All right, we are loading up the market. Again, I've got this bell ready for those who know. If you know what this is, then you know what this is. If you're new here, we did get some new subscribers last night, so shout out to you guys if you are here. In 30 seconds, I will ring the bell. And hopefully I will have timed the market effectively. This is my version of timing the market because of this stupid delay on the stream. This is my version of timing the market. So let's see. I mean, I think we're going to have a little bit of a green day, and it's not going to be anything too crazy. But if the market takes the market takes a crap, then we're going to see if the market takes a crap. But ultimately, we're going to have to see what happens. All right. Are we ready? Here we go. Market open will be in 3, 2, 1. The market is open. Now let's just see if I actually timed that correctly. Let's see what happens. General morons. Oh, it's definitely not going to be timed correctly. Maybe it is. All right, well, the market's open now. I think I was late on that one. All right, let's see what's happening. I was kind of close. I wasn't too bad. ARKG. Okay, so let's go into some of the stocks to see where Palantir's going. Boom. 760. All right, Palantir's up 2%. So there we go on Palantir. Green market on that one. Bitcoin up 32,000. We're good. ARK is up 5% in the opening market. Tesla is up 4%. Who let the cows out? Haha, that's funny. SPY is up about 2%, 406, so it rebounded off of its lows of 398. Coinbase is up 4%. Amazon is up 4%. Yeah, I mean, the market's green. Relatively green. I mean, there's nothing crazy, but yesterday was a rough day. And I think when you have those types of days in the market, like Zoom is at 97. Interesting. The market tends to recover a little bit. DraftKings, I don't know who's in this one. This one's a little bit of a rough one. $74 in March 2021. Okay, so DraftKings is definitely down. I think they have big potential in growth and gambling. I just don't know how big the company can be, but nonetheless, that is one option for those who are there. So all these stocks are green. We got Boeing. Wow, Boeing's at 129. Is this the right Boeing? I think this is the wrong Boeing. Wow, Boeing's at 137. This was a $240 stock before COVID, I remember. Okay, so Boeing's down. Pretty good timing, getting close, man. Thank you. Look at Palantir fly. Yeah, I mean, Palantir is doing decent, but after yesterday, we would expect it to do decent, right? Like, it's pretty rough right now. NASDAQ inching closer to 12K. Nice little green candle. It's up 2%, up 314 points. Not too bad. QQQ, I think it got below what did it get below? It's at 305. It's up 3%. Yeah, it got to 295 yesterday. Yeah, QQQ was under 295 or under 300. QQQ, for those who don't know, is the technical is the index for all technical stocks, for technology stocks like Google, Amazon, Microsoft. If you want to buy tech, you buy QQQ. That's the ETF for it. Interesting stuff going on. All right, Roku's at 91. Tesla's rebounding really well. Amit, what's your cost basis on Palantir? I bought, have you bought recently? I bought at $10.80 last week, about $1,200 worth. So about 111 shares, and my cost basis is $19.66. Interesting. NEO. So, yeah, NEO's been hit pretty badly. It's up 7% today, which is awesome. I know that my history with NEO is that I bought it at $3. I sold it at $6. It was actually one of the first stocks I bought in the market. I never ended up holding it till the $60 run, unfortunately. But NEO definitely is not doing the best given the decrease in number of cars sold and also the what do you call it? There was a article. What was the article? Not article. There was a report that says they're going to lose they're going to lose their US listing. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not. But that scared off a lot of people, and because that scared a lot of people, that was pretty bad as well. Boeing was a $300 stock before the 737 MAX in 2019. Yeah, that's true as well. What's your total share count with Palantir? 2,176. 2,176. Someone says it's red. Are we red already? Yeah, look at this. Boom, right there. Back to 744. And again, like, this is a question of how crazy are the catalysts going to be going into the future? Because I don't know. Let's look at Upstart if Palantir is down. Upstart's down 53%. Okay, so we talked about Upstart right before the stream started, right before the market opened. Upstart's down 53% is rough, man. Like, that's just bad. Like, that's just rough. I mean, I know Palantir fell 20% yesterday, but that's just bad. Peloton is also one that's, I think, pretty bad. Yeah, Peloton fell 16%. What is this? Now, Peloton's guidance, I believe, came out and was not the best. Peloton guidance. So here we go. So Peloton reports wider than expected losses in its fiscal third quarter, offers weak guidance on its fourth quarter, and taps JP Morgan and Goldman cash for a cash buffer. Peloton got hit. Good morning, Aurelio. Thank you for being in the chat. Time to buy ARK or Shark. Yup, it's halted, not moving. Owen, are you buying the dip on this one? Yes or no? Are you buying it? Peloton on Tuesday reported a wider than expected quarterly loss and a steep decline in sales with the fresh capital infusion from blah, 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 blah. So they made almost $1 billion and they had a meaningful loss per share on earnings. Interesting. Yeah, the revenue dropped from 964 from 1.26 billion last quarter. All right, this is rough. Let's go over CPI expectations. I know that is coming out tomorrow, so I think it is important to at least talk about that. I believe we're expecting it to be like an increase, right? So specifically, consensus economists are looking for the broadest measure of CPI to increase by 8.1% in April, coming down from March's 8.5% advance. The headline CPI is expected to edge up by just 0.0%, also coming down sharply. So this is good. So we're expecting CPI to go down. That could be a catalyst. So March, it was 8.5. If April, it's 8.1. You've decreased 0.4. And if headline CPI is up only 0.2, that's down from being up 1.2. Excluding volatile food and energy prices, the core measure of the CPI is anticipated to decelerate to a 6% annual increase. That would be the slowest rate since December. Yeah, that would be good if that actually happens. Now, are those the most accurate numbers? No, but at the end of the day, this is about market perception. And if those numbers go down decently, then I mean that's a reasonable expectation for a catalyst for stocks. Coin reports today. Oh man. Yeah, Coinbase. I'm really curious about Coinbase, to be honest, because the way they make money is very simple. You buy crypto, they take a fee. And I never liked that business model. Like, I just never understood it because consumers want free stuff. It's just simple. Like, I just don't like, and the fee is correlated to the asset price. So if Bitcoin was 69,000 and they take a 5% fee, they make more money versus if Bitcoin is 30,000 and they take a 5% fee, because 69 is bigger than 30. So the 5% increase or the commission would be higher. But so that's why if crypto drops, Coinbase drops, right? But I feel like that shouldn't happen. I feel like Coinbase should be valued outside of crypto because it's an exchange for crypto. Like, yes, I understand if crypto prices go down, Coinbase, because of their fee structure, it should go down. But if they figured out a way to be like, hey, we're a stable exchange where people can buy and sell stuff, but the assets that they buy and sell shouldn't be correlated to the value of the exchange. I know that's hard to do, but if they could figure out at least a way to make it more reassuring, then that would be better. Or at least I'd feel more comfortable buying it. And I think earnings would go better. Palantir down 3%, 725. Everything's going red again. Tesla back down. Tesla's at 820. Now it's at 807. SPY was at 406. Now it's at 403. So we're seeing the market sell off even the earliest of rallies. It's been 8 minutes since the market has opened, and the rallies, there is no rally, right? End phase also down pretty badly. It is what it is. Bitcoin down from 32,000. ARK dropping. It was at 43. Now it's at 42. So it is lower. Sachin, hello. Happy you're here in the chat. Amit, are you DCAing with these low prices? Not yet. I actually am waiting to DCA. I'm not in a rush. I don't think anyone should be in a rush to be like, no one should be in a rush to DCA. We have no idea what's going to happen over the next couple of days. Now, what I do think is that the fear and greed index is reaching basically all-time highs. And when that happens, we start to capitulate to a bottom. The question is, how good are the inflation numbers tomorrow? And how does the market start to normalize, which I think takes like a month or two of just normalizing this new environment that we're in before stocks tend to go up or down even more. So I don't think anyone needs to, like if you want a DCA at Palantir at 7 because you don't care if it's 6 or 7 or 8, then go ahead. But I don't think there's like this urge or necessity to do so. I also think it's important to see how the economy grows in the second quarter, because the first quarter we had negative GDP growth. Now that number is kind of manipulated. It doesn't really mean that much. But in the second quarter, if we do stop growing, we are in a technical recession. Do I think the entire world falls apart? No. I think unemployment is at an all-time low. Labor market, people are looking. This is the greatest time to find a job. But if the recession does start waning a little bit more, market perception might take stocks even lower. The crazy question about all of this, guys, is that it's just a question of how much more lower it can go. Opendoor, I've said this yesterday, they beat their revenue by 500%. There's not that many companies that can beat something by 500%, and the market still does not respect them. So that's I think I should have done a better job communicating this on YouTube before Palantir earnings, that no matter what we were going to do, the market was not going to like it. I mean, Palantir got out $1 billion last quarter. The market would have been like, yeah, but stock-based comp. I'm like, and it's just irrational at this point, but it's also rational because valuations are compressed. So it's rational for the market to be like, yeah, you can beat revenue by 500%, but we're not going to give you the valuation that you guys want right now. It's just how it is. And I think it will take a couple months for that to normalize. Sachin says, at this point, I am holding remaining cash until signs of reversal are clear. For the time being, looks like no bottom is safe. I agree. I mean, I 1,000% agree with Sachin. Like, there's nothing that's been done that says, okay, we're hitting a bottom, that we've capitulated, right? At the very best, the only thing that has happened is Bitcoin went to 29,000, and that's like a bottom, but that's not really a bottom, right? That's just I mean that could be a bottom, but I don't know if that's enough of a bottom for the market to rebound with it. Google at 2,300, not bad. Google was at 2,240 last night. Teladoc, how low did Teladoc get? Teladoc, did it hit 20? Yeah, it hit 28.70. Teladoc hit 28.75 last night. Wow. Spotify below 100. Spotify. I read a pretty good article on Spotify the other day. I'm not going to talk about it here. We'll probably do a video later, but it had some really amazing insights into just the whole plan that they're trying to go and roll out with. Uber, man, this is a big one. So I don't know if anyone's watching this new series called Super Pumped. It's basically documenting the rise of how Uber became a thing. The acting is not that good. I'm sorry. It's really bad. But I didn't know that Uber was a $50 billion company. They went public at a $100 billion valuation. I did not know that. For some reason, I thought Uber's valuation at $42 IPO was like $50 billion. But I was surprised to realize that at a $24 share price, their market cap is at $45 billion. Uber is in the news because recently their CEO sent out a letter basically saying like he wants massive changes in the company in terms of just like the productivity that they're going to get from their employees and their focus on free cash flow. So, I mean, that letter was kind of the sign of just like, hey, we're really going to start to ramp up and try to go do something cool and do something, important in the company. Twilio 101. I remember on earnings, I think in January, these guys ran up to 240 on the 6 month. Where is the 6 month? They ran up to 240 and it was kind of spectacular. They had just a really good earnings. Yeah, look, so they're down. They're down. Look, I think this is it right here. February. So they were down here. They were at 172. And then, boom, they spiked right here to 240. And ever since then, they've been down. It's a tough market to be doing this stuff. Let's go through some of the comments. See what people are saying in the chat. We are not far from the point where brokers increase margin requirements. Yes, that is also very, very true. And if that's the case, that's not that means people will be getting margin called. No difference between 7 or 730 or 750 if long term. At $5, yes, but that's next quarter. Yeah, we'll see $5 next quarter. We don't need to worry about it now. Palantir should hibernate for like 2 months and then go back and look. I agree. Open Doors falling off another edge of a cliff. Yeah, and they've done really well. Sachin says all of his public equity is in Palantir. Yeah, if you guys don't know, let me show you guys this video. I did this video a while ago. It's meet the guy who is all in on Palantir. Right there. You see the poker chips? Boom. 13,000 views that one got. And that is Sachin right there explaining his logic. This was at February 26, 2022. Stock price, I believe, was around 11 to 12. That's where it really was. Where are we? Here we are, February. Yeah, we're about 1270. That's where we're at around that time. So that's when he went all in. I think this was after earnings. And the idea behind Sachin's going all in, by the way, Palantir down another 4%, is that there was an asymmetrical risk, right, to the upside. That, look, if it's a risk if Palantir doesn't turn out to be the company we think it is, but if it does, then the upside is just crazy. So the question now is how does Snowflake report? How does Datadog report in their earnings? And what is the sort of edge for how companies are doing in this data space? And I think we got to give them a couple quarters. We got to see. Now, if Palantir gets to $25, this would be a 300% increase from here if you bought at 7. So, to rally 300% is not the easiest thing in the world, but we're ultimately going to see. I sold out a month ago except for Palantir. I'm in love, I guess. I feel you. Meet the guy who makes all of our bags feel light. Love, Sachin. That's true, Sachin. You do make all of our bags feel a little bit lighter. Palantir long, you are officially 100% into Palantir. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's ultimately a question of what is your conviction and are you fully in it? Wow, look at this. Palantir is down 5%. So the market just decided to go down again. Coinbase decimated. Upstart is halted, most likely. Circuit breaker. Tesla going back under below 800. It was at 780 yesterday. Yeah, the market's just reversing. That's what's happening. The question is, do we hit new lows or do we stay flat with the market yesterday? Palantir is already hitting new lows, so they're getting destroyed. Now we're seeing the rest. We're seeing the rest of the market. SPY's close to 400s as well. That's rough. That's rough. That's rough. Okay, one of the things, Amit, we've exchanged emails before. You never sent me the pitch for your startup. Gabriel, did you send me an email? I'm sorry about that, Gabriel. I'm really sorry about that. I usually respond to everyone. All right, so that'll be let me at least segue into this. I do this at least once every morning stream. If I am raising money for my startup, if anyone is interested, email amit@dailypalantir.com. You guys will be able to see the pitch deck. I know it's hard to invest in like risky private startups when the market is tanking. But if you do have some disposable income, if you are sitting on some cash and you want to put money into an asset that's a little bit that's a little bit riskier, but has the potential to give a return that's stronger 10 years from now, definitely email me. We've raised about $240,000. We're looking to raise about $500K on a pre-seed. So Gabriel, I'm sorry about that. Just please email me again, amit@dailypalantir.com. I must have missed it. I'll go through my email as well and check, but if I didn't get your email, then I'll respond to it. All right, I want to do something that I did yesterday that is important. Can everyone comment where they're from? I think as a community, 227 people in the chat. Thank you guys also thank you guys for being here. One of the cool things about being in a community is telling people where you're from. So if half of you guys just all messaged in the chat where you're from, I think it's cool, right? I know we have some people from Spain, some people from Brazil, some people from New York, some people from India, some people from Taiwan yesterday. It was really fun. So let me know where everyone is from. Just because, Palantir sucks right now. So it's nice to at least know that collectively we have this global consciousness of holding this bag. That's the true AI. Belgium. Do you eat Belgian waffles? I've had them before. Malaysia. Sachin is from Malaysia. My uncle, Sachin, I think I told you, is in Malaysia as well. And he's big into the stock market as well. He works at Citibank, I believe. He's actually moving to Canada, though, in a couple of months. London, Nicaragua, amazing. Wisconsin, okay, Wisconsin. Is it possible for Palantir to reverse split? No, that's not happening. Palantir's not reverse splitting. Reverse split is a different. You know what companies reverse split? Biotech stocks. And oh boy, I've got one of those for you guys. So this is the one that did a reverse split. This should be like $30. It's at $3. They did a 10-to-1 reverse split. Don't worry about Palantir doing a reverse split. Aruba, Alaska, originally, now Virginia, New York City, Spain, Vermont, Switzerland, Massachusetts, San Diego, Greece, California, Germany, Canada, Mexico, Singapore, Houston, Texas, baby, California, Joy, what's up? Luna, see you in the chat. Irish in France, Michigan, Texas, Hawaii, Kenya, California, Taiwan, Britain, New Jersey, Omar from the UK, Hamptons, Long Island, Swiss living in Singapore. I love this. Saudi Arabia, Taiwan. Look, guys, I know things are rough, but sometimes just knowing that there are 8 billion people in the world. By the way, Sachin, he tweeted something today. I got to show you guys this stuff. Sachin is big into space, and he tweets some awesome stuff about space and the universe. If you have not followed him yet, I highly recommend everyone who's on Twitter, Sachin Vutts, awesome tweets, and he's really able to explain the market because he's 43. He understands the market a little bit more. Look at this. Congress will hold its first UFO public hearing since 1970 next week. I know, we're into stocks, but the idea that Congress is gonna, of course, let me see if I can find it on incognito. The fact that, we have these things that exist in the world that we can't make sense of that are UFOs. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? That's kind of crazy. And the reason I'm saying all of us are typing in where your location in the chat is because all of us around the world universally can deal with holding the Palantir bag, but also that we are just one tiny dot in this random sea of the galaxy. And there's many other galaxies. Let me show you guys this real quick. A map of galaxies. Let me see if I find that in the universe. Yeah, look at this. these are all the different galaxies. So there's the Milky Way galaxy right there, right? But there's, I believe, there's like at least, I believe, how many galaxies are there? How many galaxies? I believe there's 2 trillion, if I'm incorrect, or if I'm not incorrect. Yeah, there's 100. Look, so the Hubble reveals an estimated 100 billion galaxies in the universe, and we have one of them. International bag holders. And we're just one galaxy, and by the way, we're just one planet in that one galaxy. There's 100 billion other galaxies with 100 other planets. One of the things I'm curious about is if other people in other galaxies have a sophisticated financial infrastructure like the stock market, where they can buy and sell and lose money. I want to know if that exists. Because if it does, that'd be kind of crazy. Hawaii, Montreal, Puerto Rico. Someone said they're from Gotham. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Someone says, what is a reverse split? So a reverse split is when a company has, let's say, a stock price at $10 or $100. And they have 100 shares. They will reverse split, let's say 10 to 1 or 5 to 1, which means it's bad for shareholders because now the amount of shares are cut by 10, which means the value of your share price is also cut by 10. So if you had 100 shares, now you have 10 shares, and each of those 10 shares are now worth less, essentially. So my biotech stock, I had 3,000 shares. Actually, yeah, no, it's an inverse, right? So I had 3,000 shares of a company that was worth 80 cents per share, but the reverse split made it worth $8. So the level of shares ultimately decreased, which is good because you're decreasing the number of shares, but the value of those shares also decreased as well. So that now a post split is a good thing. That means you're just taking the amount of shares and you're just creating more of them, which means the price goes lower, but the value doesn't change. You just get more shares. But if the shares decrease, that means for every 1 share I had, now I have 10 less. If you're doing a 10 to 1 reverse split, which means the value of my shares goes down by 10, which is like bad, right? You're losing 100% you're losing 10 times the value on your shares. A reverse split is a neat trick penny stocks perform to make your money disappear. Yes, essentially. Now, most companies, they have to be at least $1 to be on the NASDAQ exchange, or at least $1. So if you're trading under $1 and you're at 80 cents and you do a reverse split and now you're $8, you're above the threshold, but the value for your shareholders decreases a lot. So the only reason you'll tolerate it is if you have a, biotech where you believe in the drugs or something, or you really believe in the company and it's part of the vision. Otherwise, it's rough to deal with it. You just described the Ferengi from Star Trek a bit. I've never watched Star Trek, actually. But Palantir is an AI from another galaxy. That is a plot twist. You know what another plot twist is, guys? Imagine if Cathie Wood finally buys back into PLTR. Imagine if that happens. ARK at $41, up 1% for today. Palantir down 4%. Imagine if ARK does that. Could you imagine? Like ARK's just like, hey, we're gonna buy. It's time to buy Palantir. Let's go to CNBC. Let's see what's trending there. Upstart and AI and Peloton. Those are the big headlines. Sony announces a 1.5 billion share buyback. Wow. Sony. What's Sony? I haven't ever looked into Sony. I don't even know what their ticker symbol is. Boom. 82. Is that it? Is that Sony? Yeah. The Japanese giant plans to carry out the share repurchase for the next year. Operating profit of $1 billion. Their gaming division grew 175%. Their PlayStation 5, I mean, they were obviously going to sell the crap out of this. 11.5 million. I know people who still can't get that. I'm not a big gamer. I don't know if you guys are gamers, but if you're in the gaming community, PlayStation 5 is huge. Wow. All right. That's not bad. Sony's buying back their shares. I mean, that's good. If you're a Sony, I don't think a lot of you hold Sony, but that's good. As expected, Palantir is downgraded by a bunch of analysts. Yes, that is also true. Palantir was downgraded. Let me just type in Palantir downgrade. Yeah, RBC downgrades Palantir. I know a bunch of people on Twitter had it. Yeah, here we go, right here. So Palantir Technologies price target cut to $7 a share from $10 by Citigroup. So Citigroup downgraded it, and Deutsche Bank downgraded Palantir to 11 from 15. Look, on this type of earnings, most of these companies are basically going to be thinking that they can't hit their growth metrics, so they don't want to put out the recommendation that it's going to grow super fast or super high. The beautiful thing is that this lowers expectations for Palantir so aggressively that if they actually beat, meaning like they said they're going to have $470 million in revenue next quarter, which is a 5% increase from the $440 million they got this quarter. Now, let's say Palantir does $500 million. Why would that happen? They did hint there's significant upside due to geopolitical events, which is the Ukraine-Russia situation. If that happens, then you've got a company that is beating expectations pretty massively. And let's say the SPACs start to go up, which I don't think is going to happen for another year, but let's say the SPACs start to generate revenue. They're generating about $30 million from the SPACs. If that starts to happen with all these bearish sort of price cuts, which was the same stuff that happened to Tesla. Again, I'm not comparing Palantir to Tesla. I'm just saying back in 2019, Tesla, there are people who still have Tesla at $300. There are people who had Tesla at $10. I remember I bought my first share of Tesla at $179, May 2019. I explicitly remember I went to India in June and I bought my first shares of Tesla on Robinhood in May. And they had analysts saying it should be at $10 because there was like weakening demand or whatever. So analysts are going to say analysts. I'm not saying these analyst things are wrong. I'm just saying that when the expectations are lower, it's easier to hit it out of the park. That's the main thing. Looking at the comments. Should I switch my position from Palantir to Tesla? It's up to you. I think Tesla's already $1 trillion. It's a little bit harder to get that same growth. But nonetheless, it's ultimately up to you. Is that MJ in the back? Yes, it is. I am filling up this whole thing with a bunch of knickknacks. And MJ is there. He's one of my idols. He's greatness to me. So MJ is there. Plus, the Bad album is probably the best album. Bad or Thriller? I don't know. Put it in the chat. I don't know how many MJ fans we have. Thriller is great, but Bad is also a good one. Let's see what's going on Twitter. Anything for Palantir? Anything crazy for Palantir? I had a lot of tweets yesterday about Palantir. You want to go through some of my tweets? It was some tweets that hopefully made people feel happy. This was a big tweet. In this economy, the metaverse sounds really interesting, not going to lie. Start stupid, not going to lie. Go outside, bro. Honestly, bro, in this economy, the metaverse does not sound interesting to me. I'm like, really? We're going to invest in some metaverse? Like, just go outside. We're fine. Thinking of applying for a Twitter blue check to be verified as the best Palantir bag holder. That was a big one. That was a big one for me. Dudes will really buy more Palantir versus go to therapy. I am dudes. I am dudes, yes. What else did I have? Oh, here's one. Someone was clowning me in the live stream today for being 24 and living with my parents. I don't want to live alone and be in an apartment paying $2,000 a month to sit on a bed when I can do that at home. Plus, my mom needs help with the groceries, fam. It's just true. I'm like, what's the point of spending all that rent money? I like being at home. I like seeing my parents. And if I don't have a family, then I'm not really that interested in anything else. I mean, like if I don't have my own wife and kids, right, then why would I want to live alone? Community can help during this time. Follow people on Twitter. Join some Discords. It's nice to talk to other folks and just crowdsource perspectives. I do have a Patreon in the Discord if anyone wants to join, or in the description. We do talk a lot about the things that are going on. I was in another Patreon last night in a Zoom call, and we had like 30 people just discussing this stuff. So I think community is important. That's why I like hosting these live streams as well, to have a little bit more, community engagement. Oh, here's the last one. All right. Someone asked me today why there's a belt on my desk and a comment under my video today since they saw it in the background. I told them I needed something to whip myself with since that pain was better than watching the Palantir stock price today. So for those who were wondering, why was there a belt yesterday in the background? That was why. I also did a video yesterday on, so this is the last thing I'll say. When Karp said, he was questioning why companies are leaving to the metaverse, I think it's based on this. Premise A, the real world sucks. Premise B, to escape the real world, let's make a fake one. That's why Karp was making fun of the metaverse stuff in his monologue. My thought project is that what if we fix the real world versus trying to make a fake one using software, which is Palantir's argument. I believe Karp's point was that if we solve the hardest challenges in the real world, we won't have to design a fake universe for us to escape to. That requires massive levels of innovation and leadership to actually solve those problems, and that's where Palantir comes in. And that was my video yesterday on my thoughts on Palantir, what Karp was saying. So you guys can definitely check that out. I'm going to be out for now. More videos coming today breaking down Palantir earnings. I have not done a full breakdown on my channel of earnings. That will be out probably in the next hour and a half. You guys will see that then. So thank you all for joining the morning live stream. I appreciate everyone for being here. We are going to get through this. It's a rough market, but it takes time for things to normalize, and eventually we will see what happens as things get better. But ultimately, fear is high. The bottom will eventually capitulate. We're not going to be here forever. But to me, this is healthy because the things we've had in the past 2 years were rough. Things are coming down. Eventually, when things get normalized, things will go the other way, but it takes time to get there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all 200 of you being here in the morning with me on my live stream. I will see you tomorrow morning, and much more videos coming out later today. Interested in investing in my startup? amit@dailypalantir.com. Make sure you email me, and I will see you guys tomorrow on another morning live stream. Thanks so much. Bye-bye, guys.